Well, the two world-class players that Man United signed from Real Madrid, one in the year of 2021 and the other in the summer of 2022, that is Verane and Casemiro respectively, looks like their spell at Man United is coming to an end. Their candle at Man United is burning out, with the new wave coming in through at Man United, showing that Manchester United looks like they're really very much ready to obviously take them off the team and really sell them and see whether a lot is going to really happen, as Raphael Varane's contract runs down and Casemiro still has some 2-3 years on his contract, but he has gonna hit to drop off hugely. Jamie Carragher has gonna hit to come out and really castigated Eric Ten Hag, and it's still gonna be a huge story there for you, because all the pundits, ex-players, are really against this manager. I've gonna hit to see the wrath they've gonna hit obviously take at him. That shows you that they never liked this man in the first place, and they've always gonna hate waiting for this moment to obviously come in through and really go after him. And as new changes start to come in at Man United, a nutrition doctor looks like is gonna hate to visit the club of Man United to really go ahead and really scrutinize, and throw a torch into what the diety for these players of Man United is, because the injuries at Man United need to be found a solution for. As we've always gonna hit to be averaging 25 injuries a season, but this time round we are almost clicking 50 injuries this season. Welcome to the United Matters channel. Happy Eid Mubarak to every Muslim all over the world, and those that will be watching this channel, continue to subscribe to this channel. I think we are left with is it 40 subscribers to hit the magic number of 17,100 subscribers. So guys, continue to do that, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really doing fine in whatever you are doing. The Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living who God bless you abundantly. Here we come in peace to obviously bring you these stories, and let's see close to 300 likes smash on this video. Now, it was on the MUFC MVP YouTube channel of Man United that was gonna hit obviously put up such a story. Raphael Varane and Casemiro are both expected to leave Man United this summer. The United are willing to offer Raphael Varane a new contract on reduced wages, but he is likely to depart. That's what we've been told by the side of Raphael Varane. So this story shows that these two are really gonna leave, or expected to leave, the club of Man United this summer. I've gonna hit to really hear very many people coming out and really putting out their suggestions, and I respect them. But one of the frontliners is these players have not gone ahead not to really feel like they are not needed at the club of Man United. It's said it's all about their wages. Two combined, their wages amass to almost £700,000 a week. £700,000 a week, times a month, that is close to £3 million. What? A month, right? Times 12, they get close to £40 million. Now, if you are paying £40 million to two players who are not performing at the level of consistency, then it doesn't make sense. So when Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in through with Omar Berrada, Dave Breshold, and Joan Cloud, their first assignment was to go through the expenditures for the club of Man United. I've even gonna hit to read a story that they are gonna take off the cards, the credit cards. They've always gonna hit to give the staff of Man United to spend money, meaning that they are really gonna try to cut down the expenditure for the club of Man United and really put it to a very optimum rate that can really get Man United to the levels of really having in more incomes. Because the fact is, we make a lot of money, but our expenditure is huge. And our expenditure is huge, but we are not getting results on the pitch, meaning that we are overpaying at a certain extent. And I really agree with them. If there is a rebuild that is going to come up at the club of Man United, let us see it take its course. That is it. let us see this take its course, because if you want to tame the wage bill for the club of Man United, you need to first cut off players that are really earning huge and not really performing the field of play. The highest paid player at the club of Man United is Casemiro. He earns close to £360,000 a week, followed by Marcus Rashford, £340,000 a week. There is Jadon Sancho, £350,000 a week. Varane, £330,000 a week. You understand? You need to obviously gate down this lane, gate out these players. Even if it means getting out Marcus Rashford, it's really huge. Gate him out of the team of Man United, because he's doing nothing, and there is nothing he's really going to do. To me, Marcus Rashford might come out and surprise you. Next season, he can come up and really put in a very good shift as a player. But is he going to be consistent? Because I would rather have a player who can average 15 goals a season and 10 assists every season. That player is okay, other than having a player who can come in through and get you 30 goals a season and 10 assists, all 15. Then the next season he drops off to not even scoring 10 goals a season and even put up 10 assists. I cannot have a player who performs like that. This season you perform very well, next season you perform badly. That is inconsistency of a high level, and you're really earning that much. So the other fact is that Varane has only gone ahead to miss out on 5 games this season, and by the way, Harry Maguire is going ahead to miss more games this season than Rafael Varane, and we are really referring to Rafael Varane as an injury-prone player. I have a thinking that why doesn't Man United keep them here for some time? Because of the experience. Rafael Varane is 30, Harry Maguire is 31. Of those, who would you first move on? I think you first sell Harry Maguire and see to it that you get him out. You get in £30 million and get him out of the club of Man United. Keep Rafael Varane here, but don't take him as your first choice centre-back. That is it. Don't take him as your first centre-back and really get in Todibo, all Braithwaite, to come in through to play to that central defence alongside Lisandro Martinez, such that Rafael Varane only comes in through in certain occasions to come in through and really act as a plaster on the wound. To obviously give experience to the likes of Kamboala, Todibo, Braithwaite, and Lisandro Martinez, because all those are supposed to be players that come in through to obviously learn after this man. And I tell you, when he's physically fit, no one comes ahead of him. Let's all admit, when Rafael Varane is physically fit, no player goes ahead of him into that starting 11 for the club of Man United in the central defense. So the big question is the salary. That is it. Is he going to really accept to take a pay cut? That is where the big question is. And I think Rafael Varane is this kind of person who looks like he's not all that man-oriented. I know his agent would like money, but staying at Man United for one more season will really help him really restructure his career, to see to it that if they give him a contract of 2 years with a further 1 more year that is really optional, he really gets into the mix and we do the needful. If at all you're Man United, you wouldn't like to see to it that Rafael Varane lives out on a free, if at all he agrees to obviously take a pay cut. So I think of the two, Casemiro really has a higher chance of leaving the club of Man United because he looks naked. That game of Liverpool went ahead to expose him a lot, that he's really way off the pace and he cannot really match the levels of the Premier League, and he cannot really manage those levels. TalkSport came in through and we told us that the destination of these two might be Saudi Arabian clubs who are aiming to bring in 5 or 6 marquee signings ahead of this summer's transfer window. It is claimed that United duo Rafael Varane and Casemiro could be targeted by the club in the Gulf nation. Varane is out of contract this summer and Casemiro could be sold after an underwhelming season. Obviously, one of the players that Man United should obviously look at to sign is a CDM. We don't have a CDM. Unless otherwise, the manager sees the likes of Dan Gore as ready to obviously come in through and take center stage. But we are lacking a CDM, and Casemiro is way off the pace by a mile. So you can't really trust him. But when you look at Saudi Arabian clubs, they can obviously offer you the money that you want in Casemiro. They can come in through and tell you we are offering you 50 million euros. Remember, we bought him for like 80 million euros. If at all we can get back 50 and save his salary, because for the next 3 years, Casemiro is going to be earning huge with £350,000 a week. That is £1.4 million a month. You know, times 3. Is it that only? Because you are having 350 2 weeks. That is £700,000 a week. Times 2 to make it a month. That is 1.4. 1.4 times 12, right? That is 10, close to 20 million pounds. You know, that you would have gone ahead to save a year times 3, 60 million pounds of salary and bonuses in there for you. So if at all you can get rid of Casemiro to Saudi Arabia and they get you close to 50 million euros, that means you have 40 million pounds in, and you can as well use that amount of money to see to it that you get in a player that can do the job. I think if Casemiro wants to go to Saudi Arabia, that will be great, and I think it will be good money for the club of Man United. And by the way, if a club is willing to offer us 40 million pounds or 42 million pounds in Casemiro, I would sell him. I would sell him and really go in for another good CDM that can obviously come in through and match the pace of the Premier League, because Casemiro looks totally off, you know. So he's totally off, and I don't know how we are going to really cope up with the next season, because Fabrizio came out and told us that Man United are looking at central defenders, you know, striker to play alongside Rasmus Højlund, and I heard of a left back. Nothing has been said about the midfield. That is really very worrying. There is also rumors of Olise in the mix for the club of Man United. So it shows you exactly that it's really not going to be the same, right? It's really not going to be the same, and we need to be looking to bring in a CDM. I don't know why United is very confident of not really having a CDM in the mix, yet we need one at the club of Man United. You know, this position has always gone ahead to affect us for a long period of time. Casemiro came in through, gave us stability for one season. This season, Casemiro has been so off the pace by a mile. So wait and see how that pans out. But even TalkSport is telling us the following, that United is really looking out to move on these players, and we'll wait to see how that is going to pan out. But remember, Varane is running out of a contract now, with lots of changes being made and investigations being carried out at Carrington on what is the reason as to why we are really having in very many injuries. Nutrition expert James Morton was at United Training Center recently. The former Liverpool nutritionist worked with Sir Dave Bracefold at Team Sky. So I like this at Man United, and I like what these people are really doing. It will be remembered that when Erik ten Hag came in through here at the club of Man United, you know what he really went ahead to start up with? He put up a very good goal when it came to nutrition. He told these players what to eat and what not to eat into the club of Man United. And he was like, this is forbidden and this is not forbidden. So nutrition is really very important on how players keep fit in the due course of the season, and we need to get in experts that are going to do it elsewhere. If this nutrition doctor has been working at Liverpool and we need to bring him at the club of Man United, then I'm really excited, because we need to bring in people who really have some huge experience and have got ahead to work at elite teams and know how these things really work upon, because we need to find a reason as to why we're really having very many injuries at the club of Man United. 47 injuries so far this season, yet we've always gone ahead to average 20 to 24 injuries at the club of Man United. So amidst everything that people have gone ahead to talk about, I think is on the training sessions, because we are not even having a physical trainer. So all those are questions that are really waiting to be answered by Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and this is why the structure of Man United from top to bottom needs to obviously be shaken. And I'm really happy that we've gone ahead to shake it a little bit, that the CEO has gone ahead to leave Richard Arnold. Omar Berrada is in. John Martha has been acting as the sporting director or director of football for the club of Man United for the last 11 years. He has gone ahead to really down tools and he's out of the club. And Dan Ashworth and Jason Willox are coming in through to overtake that role and really do the needful. So I think we are doing something great, and if at all we've gone ahead to get in those recruitments, we are really going to be doing some huge job at the club of Man United. For Omar Berrada to come in through, it's a blessing, and he knows exactly how a structure of a team should be looking like, because he was at Barcelona with Pep Guardiola, and he came in through at Man City, I think, in 2014, you're right, 2014, 2015, that's when he showed up at the side of Man City, and he has been really at the helm of the build-up of Barcelona and the build-up of Man City. He knows exactly what we need, and that's why they're really getting in the right people to come in through and integrate in the already existing ones that are going to have to be approved right. And this is where every person who is really saying this manager should be sacked is really getting it wrong. You know, why don't you give him a chance to work in a well-organized environment that you want the new manager to be brought in? So this is where these pundits get it wrong. Ten Hag is not doing this, he's not doing this. But ask yourself, you want him to be performing like Mikel Arteta? You want him to be performing like Jurgen Klopp? You want him to be performing like Pep Guardiola? Ask yourself, is he working in the same conditions that these people are really working in at their respective clubs? That is the huge question that people are really going ahead to obviously overlook. So the naivety of these people is really very huge, that they need to obviously be taken to school and schooled on how teams are supposed to be run. When you hear that a team is not having a competent CEO, you know, that means it has a lot of loopholes in that system. That's why I saw to it that we are getting in a new nutritionist, we are getting in a new CEO, a new director of football, all sporting director, a new technical director, a new head of recruitment. You understand? That is how huge the changes are supposed to be made at the club of Man United. And relax and float, let the people that know the job do the job, and you're going to be sat down when everything really goes on as to plan, because Ten Hag has been operating under a very shit side. How can a manager be there without a physical trainer, you know, or a fitness coach? We don't have a fitness coach at the club of Man United. So that shows you how bad we are supposed to be looking. And Jamie Carragher came up and really said the following after the game of Liverpool. It's obviously not gone great for United this season, but when you talk about a manager, we always say he needs results. That's the same for every manager. I actually think with Erik ten Hag that he needs performances to give Man United some belief going forward. I think you can accept the results this season in terms of them having injury problems. You can also talk about the ownership and other things. You can give some sort of reason as to why it has gone as well as people thought. But when you're watching your team, you've got to feel like you're seeing something and where it might be going, even if you are losing a game. That is the thing I would worry about as a United fan. I don't quite see where it is going. What is the end result? Now, Mr. Jamie Carragher, after putting up all those statements above, can you come out and fault the manager for the season you're really having? You can't, because it's written all over the wall. The canvas is very dirty and very disorganized, that you cannot come out to really fancy the best out of yourself. And I tell you, nothing is really gonna put you into the position like you are judging Erik ten Hag, because in elite footballing world, there are things you should be having at your display to really get where you're going. When Erik ten Hag was coming in here, he recommended lots of things, and certain things needed money. The Glazers, when it comes to obviously spending money to obviously rectify things, they cannot really do it. They couldn't really sack the CEO because they knew to it that there's supposed to be a compensation. They wouldn't sack John Mata because they knew to it that a compensation was needed. Every person who is living at the club of Man United is getting a compensation from these Ineos guys, because they know what it means to have incompetent people at the club of Man United. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe knows it well that the incompetency above Erik ten Hag has failed his job. That's why Fabrizio Romano told you to it that there are positive discussions between Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Erik ten Hag alongside Ineos to really keep him at the club of Man United and rectify lots of things, because ten Hag knows what it's needed to really run a club at elite levels. So, thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your thoughts about Rafael Varane and Casemiro time over at Man United in the comment section below. What do you make about it? And what do you think about the nutrition doctor that is going to head to visit the club of Man United? Is he going to be the new nutrition doctor at the club of Man United? And Jamie Carragher input as far as our season is really going on, and asking the end result for the fans of Man United. Eid Mubarak once again to the viewers of this channel. May the living to God bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later. The Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We want to hit 17,100 subscribers. Ciao, ciao.